Welcome to this financial training for poultry farmers. This training is brought to you by Champri to promote their new application 123 Poultry, an application that makes financial record keeping available for everybody because it does not require any calculations or Excel skills. So anybody could have their own financial analysis on their farm. In this video, you will learn why farmers need to keep financial records, the basics of financial record keeping, and eventually together we will make our own farm profit calculation so that you could do it for your own farm. It is important for any farmer in the world to keep financial records because first of all you need to know if you made a profit with your farm, and secondly it will help you to increase your farm's profit. Because if you don't know if you have made a profit, you will for sure not know how to improve that profit. And it's a fact that farmers that keep financial records are able to better improve their farm's profits. This training is aimed at beginners. At later lessons, we will go deeper into the matter, but we need to first start off with the basics of financial record keeping. And there are four main concepts that you need to understand from financial record keeping. It's important to keep records on everything you buy and sell on the farm. Because when you buy something, it's an expense. And when you sell something, it's an income. And those two concepts, income and expense, are necessary to calculate your farm's profit. Because a farm's profit is the difference between your farm's income and expenses. I know this is, for most of you, it will be easy, but repetition is key in this concept. So once again, farm's profit is the difference between your farm's income and expenses. And later I will show you an example how this works. To make it visual, you need to pretend that your farm is in the middle. And on that farm, you have two sides. That will be the income and expense side. And the income side will be coming from either selling meat, in case you have a broiler farm, and eggs, in case you have a layer farm. Of course, layers will eventually be sold as meat, so that will be an income as well. But to be able to sell those birds or eggs, you need to produce them on your farm. And you need to make expenses to make that happen. And there are 5 main categories of expenses on this side. First of all, it will be the day-old chick, the birds you buy to raise on your farm, eventually to sell. Secondly, you will need feed to grow those birds. Then you will have labor or salary. Also paying yourself is salary as well. Then you have veterinary supplies, everything you spend on the health of the bird. And last, you have the category other costs, which will be a variety of things. I will go in depth in these expenses on later slides as well. So you have the expenses on the one side, that are things that you buy to produce eggs and meat on your farm. Every farm's goal is to earn a profit by selling birds and eggs for more money than you spend on making them. Any farm needs to make a profit because you need to earn an income, to grow your business, and eventually ensure your farm's continuity. If you are not able to make a profit, you won't be a farmer for very long. if you look to the picture again from your farm, you need to understand that you want to invest money, and eventually through your farm's activities you want to have more money in the end, your profit. I assume this concept is now clear, so we can go more in depth in how this actually works in numbers. So we have an example broiler farm. This could be any farm, and this farm has a capacity for 10,000 birds. So one round is 10,000 birds that you will sell on the market. So this farm will not produce any eggs, but the concept will maintain the same. And remember, in this demonstration, all numbers are fictive and it could be any currency you want, but these will be used for demonstration.
Now I'm going to show you how to record your farm expenses. You need to note everything you buy in order to produce the products you sell. So as you have seen before, we have the 5 main categories and we're going to note them down in a table. So you have the same build up every time you record something. First of all, you need to record the category, then a remark, so a specification about what you recorded and the amount you spent on it. That will be the expense.
First of all, day-old chicks. The birds you need to buy for your farm that you will raise eventually to produce eggs or meat. So you categorize them according like this. So you have the day-old chicks, it's a new flock, your expense, you will buy 10,000 birds and the value of them. So what you paid to get those birds is $4,000. This is one of the easiest categories. And a tip, cheaper birds are not always better, because good quality birds can be more efficient with feed. And that's something I will discuss in later videos as well, about strategies to improve your farm profit. Secondly, animal feed. So the ingredients you need to buy to feed your animals. And for those who have been longer into farming, they will know that is the main expense on any farm globally. It's the major cost because eventually you want to create meat or eggs out of the things you feed to your birds. So it's quite logical. On this farm, the farmer mixes the feed himself. So of course you will buy it over a period of time, but we simplified it by having only one purchase of maize, soya, concentrate, limestone, wheat bran and maize bran. You could see the expenses on the right hand side. Secondly, labor slash salary. And of course, this is the salary you pay to everybody that works on the farm. But remember, if you're the owner of the farm and you don't have any employees working for you on the farm, you still need to account some salary, because if you take away money of the farm, eventually that's a salary you pay to yourself. And if you don't take that into account, the profit calculation will not be correct because there will be some money missing. And this gives us two types of labor: the salary for you as the owner for that period and the salary for the workers. Fourth already is veterinary supplies, and this is everything you spend on the health of the flock. So these are necessary and are often a good indicator of the health of your farm. If you need to spend a lot on veterinary supplies, then most likely there are some opportunities to improve the health of your farm. But these are also necessary. So in some regions, vaccinations could be an efficient and cost-effective method to improve the flock health. So for this example, we have veterinary supplies, the visits of a vet and medications, and of course vaccination. At last, there's the category other expenses, and these are all other expenses that you make on your farm. You could choose to categorize them even further to be able to gain more specific insights in your farm spendings, but most farmers will just put them on one pile and make it as category other expenses. Of course, when you go deeper into financial record keeping, it could be beneficial, but if you just start with financial record keeping, I would recommend to keep them just under the other category. So that will more or less look like this. So you have expenses like energy or new lights or water. Just combine them in the category other. And eventually that will give you the expense overview. So an overview of all the expenses you have made on your farm. You could see we spent a total of $25,000 for this round of birds. And of course this is a fictive number, but we will use it for the calculation. So now we will discuss the farm income and how we will record it. Similar to the expenses, you record everything you sell on your farm. And before I've shown you this picture, so you sell either meat or eggs. We know that some farmers are also able to sell their manure and their feathers. That will be in the category other once again. But because the main income is meat and eggs, we decided to keep focus only on those two. And you will categorize them in the same manner as you did with expenses to keep things simple. So you have the category, a remark, and the amount of income. Our demonstration farm was a broiler farm, and you need to record all the birds you sell on your farm. On this farm we have sold in 2 times. So the first time we sold 2,500 birds and the second time 7,500 birds. Of course, if there will be any accountants listening, you need to take into account the birds that you have took from the farm to eat for yourself or for your family or friends. And of course, there will be some mortality on any farm, but to keep things simple, we stick to these bird sales. Then, if you're a layer farm, you will obviously sell eggs, and you need to record all the egg sales you have made on your farm. But our example is a broiler farm, so no sales of eggs. So we will keep this empty. In later examples, I will include layer sales as well. Eventually, you have the other category. As I said before, a farm could also sell feathers or manure, or maybe you found some method of earning more money with your farm that we haven't heard of yet. You could add those as well. So for this example, we will sell some manure as well in 2 times. That will give you the overview of the income. So you have the bird sales and the other sales. Eventually, you sold for a total of $32,500. And keep those numbers in mind because now, as you have learned earlier, you could calculate your farm's profit by subtracting the expenses from the sales. And on our broiler demonstration farm, we had a sales of 32,500, as we have seen on the previous slide. We had an expenses of $25,000. So to calculate your farm's profit, you need to subtract the 25,000 from the 32,500 to get a total profit of 7,500. So the conclusion of this round of broilers is that this farm earned a profit of 7,500 for this round of birds. And I can already hear you thinking on your side of the screen. You promised us no calculations, and still you have shown us a calculation. Well, not so fast, because Chanfrey developed 123 Poultry, also known as the Chanfrey Farm Manager. And it's freely available for Android and iPhone, and it's basically a digital record book that you could use to store your financial records. And as we promised, you don't need to do any calculations. The system will calculate your farm's profit, income and expenses. You only have to enter the details and it will show you in a clear overview your profit and income and expenses, but it does more. It will give you detailed income and cost analysis, a date tracker so that you could see when you did those expenses and you could add more remarks, and you could compare flocks among each other with your own performances or with your colleagues. In a later video I will explain how to get the most out of this application, as well as strategies to improve your profit. The download link is in the bio for the application, or like and subscribe to our channel to review more videos about financial record keeping and production record keeping on your farm. Hope you enjoyed this video. Looking forward to see you later. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and here are the links to the videos how to start with poultry and methods to increase your farm's profit. Once again, on the behalf of Champri, thank you for watching and have a good day.